Hello, and welcome back to Belmont Bunch. Still the night of the expansion draft. It's done. Everything's gone. James packed up. He left. And now I'm going to do a video. So, I wanted to compare the two guys that were exposed tonight that, people were worried about losing. And wanted to compare them. But first, why don't I give Jordan Eberle, I'll give my thoughts on his career as an Islander. Came in that first year, you look at the numbers offensively, 59 points, 71 points. It feels like forever ago. Such a different team at that time. The final year of Tavares, and it was just an all-out attack, no defense. But Eberle was a big, spark of life for that team. And the point totals, they declined. But I would venture to say, they declined for everyone. And it's a different system. As you can see, Eberle, the last couple of years have been different because they've been shortened seasons. But generally stays pretty healthy. Has provided good scoring. But for the Islanders, I think they're looking to take another step. And to do that, they're creating cap space in whatever way they can. And both of these guys make about the same. I think Eberle makes $500,000 more. And so, I was frustrated about Bailey, but we'll focus on Eberle for now. I completely understood exposing Eberle. I did feel that Bailey, well, first of all, for sentimental reasons, being close to 1,000 games as an Islander, and I think, currently being a better player, in my opinion. And when we compare the numbers, it's not very far off. So I think it's completely fair for people to have a slight preference to Eberle, but I think it would be a little bit misguided to say that one is so much better than the other. And they are different types of players as well. He's more of a goal scorer. And look, these seasons, they on points, it looks a little bit underwhelming. But on pace over 82 games, it's pretty good. It's about where he would expect to be, and definitely an improvement over 18-19. So, and I'll give him some points this year for having to play with Leo on the first line for a decent amount of the season. So, Jordan Eberle, good Islander, bought in, kind of like Letty coming in and Boychuk coming in, guys that were acquired and bought in. And it's really, it's a shame to watch him go because he had a good connection with Bo and Barzal, obviously, Dad. And seems like a really cool guy, seems like a really good teammate. And we're definitely I'm gonna miss him as a person around the team. And we'll see, if they're able to replace his production, and I do think they will be able to. I think Lou Lamoriello has proven that he's got the ability to do that. He's created so much cap space. I think Paul Mary could have a similar role here, and probably for less of a cap hit. So I do think in the end you're saving money and you could be more productive, and those are the goals. So Jordan Eberle, playoffs, pretty good. Pretty good. And it's funny because he was a guy that was chased out of Edmonton for that one playoff run where they eventually fell to Anaheim for not being all that impressive. But Edmonton's not all that impressive in the playoffs in the last couple decades. Anyway, but Jordan Eberle, that 18-19, the Penguins series, a lot of fun, goal in every game of that series. Last year, pretty productive. This year's playoffs, kind of underwhelming. It felt like a few of his goals were compilers. Although I will say, amazing that his final goal kind of, brought the rally, got the rally going to win Game 6 of the Coliseum. So he is part of a fun memory there. And it's hard to say anything other than what I've said already. Good player, not great player, but a very good player who's probably just making a little bit too much money. At least for where the Islanders are at the moment. And he will be missed. But as some people have said, I don't think desperately missed. So, anyway, let's compare his stats with Josh Bailey, who was the other big top 6 player exposed in this draft. And Josh Bailey, it took him a while to win people over. It really did. And it took him a while to win me over. Probably started in 14-15 in that playoff series. I got to see his first ever playoff goal in person in the Cap series. Started to break out there, but really the last few years have been excellent. The playoff numbers, very impressive. Not an incredible amount more than Eberle probably in total, but that 19-20 playoff run was just unbelievable. And this year I thought he was excellent as well. And I think his playmaking ability is slept on. I do think, we talk about how the Islanders got to get talent, infused in the lineup because it's a lot of guys that definitely work hard. But, is the talent there? I think Josh Bailey has an excellent playmaking talent. And yes, you could argue for the Eberle people, but you need a goal scorer. Right, but, look at the goal totals, and they're not incredibly far off from Bailey's. So, again, could that be a product of the system? And it being, depth scoring where everybody contributes? Yeah, definitely. The one season, 25 and 18, decent difference. But Josh Bailey, like I said, sentimental reasons. He's been here forever. The guys seem to really like him. He's got dad energy, big dad energy. He's making a little bit less money. Not enough that should really sway the decision if it was solely based off money. But I think, the Isles would like for him to be a lifer, an Islanders lifer. And I think he will be now. I was very worried. I did, in my version of the expansion draft, I went for it a little bit more for Seattle. I spent closer to the cap, not at it, but closer. And I took Bailey. And I think maybe a mistake there by Seattle. Although Eberle is still going to be one of their best, as of right now, I should say. There's a whole free agent window and trades to be made. But as of right now, Jordan Eberle is one of the best players on Seattle. It was cool to see him in Seattle tonight. Hurt a little too, though. But I just wanted to point out that the point totals, not all that different. The goal totals, not even all that different. Eberle definitely has a slight edge when it comes to goal totals, but Josh Bailey, there's that playmaking ability that he makes the guys around him better. And I don't know if Eberle makes the guys around him better. I think he plays well with Barzal and Lee when that was a line. But I think Bailey, in my opinion, and I think this is completely subjective, and I'd love to hear opposing opinions in the comments, but I do think that Josh Bailey is a little bit more important to this team. I think his playmaking ability is something that can be hard to find. And for the Islanders, outside of him, it's basically just Barzal. So you got to keep the playmaking ability going. And I think you go out there, you get Palmieri re-signed. You get Wahlstrom playing as a regular. And, if you reach for the moon and you get a Landeskog, or you get, who, by the way, I know he's not known as a goal scorer. He's known as probably a power forward. But Landeskog goal totals are a little bit above Eberle's per year. So you're improving there. You're definitely improving there. And, is there a worry that Landeskog is too similar to maybe Anders Lee's game? Maybe. I think there's a little bit more pure talent there. But I would like the Islanders to go out and get Gabriel Landeskog. I know it'll depend on the cost. And the Avs could still re-sign him. He has been their captain after all since he was 19. But we'll do that in a separate video a little bit. Give some time, figure out where Seattle's at, see what's going on with free agency, trades and stuff. But just wanted to talk about the two guys left exposed today. And I did prefer Bailey, but also wanted to talk about Jordan Eberle and my appreciation for Jordan Eberle buying into the culture in his 4-year stay with the Isles. But I wish him the best in Seattle. I really hope that he has an awesome year in Seattle. And yeah, that's all I've got. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for attending the live stream if you did. It was so much fun. The Dan Cam lives forever. And yeah, we will see you next time on Belmont Bunch. Don't know where yet. Don't know when. Well, actually, I do know where. It'll be here probably. Don't know when. So, until we see each other again.